All right, so today we're going to read a book, What If There Were No Bees? And I know a lot of friends don't really like bees, but they're really, really, really important to us. So let's read to happen what would happen if there were no bees. Don't be fooled by a bee's size. It's tiny compared to the foxes, skunks, and owls that share the grassland home. But bees do the work of giants. Bees spend countless hours darting from flower to flower to collect pollen and nectar. Grassland plants, animals, and insects are tied to one another by food chains. Bees, as well as other living things, belong to several chains. Many food chains are connected by one plant or animal to create a larger food chain. It's critical. Did you know people are part of the food chain too? We are at the top of many different food chains. Flowers are a bee's best friend. They're often filled with a sweet liquid called nectar. Bees sip nectar to keep their energy. Honeybees also use nectar to make honey. As bees collect nectar, tiny pieces of pollen stick to their furry legs. When bees visit other flowers, the pollen falls off. Flowering plants need pollen to create seeds and fruits. This process is called pollination. Bees usually stay within 2 miles of their hive. If they can't find enough nectar, some bees will travel up to 7 miles from home. As bees fly around to collect food, they face many dangers. Spiders, birds, toads, and other hungry predators hunt these hard-working insects. Pollution and some of the pesticides farmers use to protect their crops can also hurt bees. Mice often make unwelcome nests in honeybee boxes. While the mice aren't dangerous to the bees, they do damage the boxes in the bees' honeycomb. The smell of mouse droppings may cause bees to leave their hive for good. Since 2006, more and more honeybee colonies are unexpectedly dying. Worried beekeepers aren't sure why so many colonies are disappearing. Some people believe bee diseases, pesticides, poor eating, and stress are harming the bees' health. What would happen if bees became extinct? If there were no bees, farmers near grasslands would have a lot of trouble growing crops. Farmers need bees, especially honeybees, to help pollinate their fruit and nut trees. Apple, cherry, plum, and avocado trees would produce less fruit, or none at all. Without bees, almond and macadamia trees would produce less too. Sometimes a plant or animal species is so important that without it, many other species would become extinct. It's called a keystone species. Bees are a keystone species. Keystone species help make sure an ecosystem has many types of life in it. So look what's happening in the page. All of these delicious strawberries are going black. Field of strawberry plants wouldn't be able to produce fruit. Neither would blueberry plants. Without bees, there would be fewer carrots, onions, and other vegetables. Bees are major pollinators of many fruit and vegetable crops. Honeybees pollinate about 90 different crops in North America. They help create about 1/3 of the food we eat. Some farmers hire beekeepers to bring hives of bees to pollinate their fields. The bees stay a few weeks, then they are moved to another field. Grassland and wildflowers and other plants couldn't make seeds without bees. Flowering bushes in nearby forests couldn't grow berries for birds. Soon, many mice, squirrels, and other small animals would not have enough food to survive. With fewer small animals, larger animals would be in trouble too. Foxes, owls, and other meat eaters would have a tougher time finding foods. Honeybees make honey from the nectar they collect. Bears, skunks, mice, and ants love the sweet honey. It's an important food source for them. Without honey, these animals and many other animals would suffer. About 1/5 of the black bear's diet comes from honey, plus the fruits, nuts, and berries pollinated by bees. Without bees, black bears would be forced to move to new areas to search for food. Without bees, grasslands and nearby farms and forests would become quieter, with less colorful places. Fewer truckloads of fresh fruits and vegetables. No flowering plants blanketing the wide open fields. No bright berries or crunchy seeds for forest animals to eat. What would happen if bees became extinct? All kinds of things. The loss of one small creature, even as small as the bee, can have a huge effect on the ecosystem of our world. Today, scientists are studying bees closely to learn how to keep them safe and healthy. Farmers are finding new ways to control pests. All this hard work should mean more bees buzzing around in the future. Bees live on every continent in the world except Antarctica, and they live in all kinds of ecosystems, including deserts, tundra, and forests. This book focuses on bees in the grassland ecosystem. Grassland animals in danger. The following animal populations are in danger of becoming extinct if nothing is done to protect them: the masked bobwhite, Utah prairie dog, and the prairie chicken. How to help keep our grasslands healthy. Make your yard more beautiful and provide nectar for bees at the same time by planting flowers. Be part of the National Pollinator Week of the last week of June. Search for National Pollinator Week online to learn how you can celebrate and help bees, butterflies, and other pollinators. If you find a beehive or a wild bee colony, walk away and slowly leave it alone. Bees have an important job to do. They work best if they are not disturbed. Find natural ways to get rid of pesky bugs in your yard by using fewer pesticides, which can harm bees and other helpful insects. You're helping all the animals around you. The end. I hope you learned the importance of bees, that they are so helpful to us and we don't need to be afraid of them.